Welcome to Our Voice, Our Opinion. We are here with our money expert, Mr. Ajamo Stoner.
How are you?
Ajamo, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my background is in accounting. I had my CPA at one time. I also have my MBA in finance, and currently I'm a banker. So I work for a large regional bank here in the Midwest.
So you know a little bit about money, huh?
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do work with money every day and at the house, so I have some experience.
All right, well then you're going to tell us how to get on track, or how to use a budget to get our finances at home on track.
Please do.
And so the last time we had this conversation, I think we were talking about digging ourselves out of a hole. I think it was closer to Christmas time,
Yes.
and the question was, well, how do I dig myself out of this this big hole that I've created for all the gifts that I've bought? And
Right.
and the key to that is planning.
Planning.
And planning to know what you can and cannot afford. And in order to plan and look ahead, you need to have a budget. And so we touched on this previously, and so now we're going to go over it and go into a little bit more detail.
Okay.
And so what that looks like is a budget. So,
Okay.
and you can think of a budget as your own personal financial statement. And I look at mine on a monthly basis. So, and you had that look on your face like, what does that mean? So your own personal financial statement is, this is my income that I bring in for this month. Now, what does my expenses look like?
Okay, are you saying I need to keep all my receipts? You know, like go to the
month-to-month
stores
basis
on a
too?
month basis. How am I go to McDonald's, or I run to, to the store and I pick up something for the kids for school. Am I keeping track of all this little stuff?
Well, I don't
Because I'm
think
gonna be honest with you, it's not.
Well, to me, you
mean-
can never be too detailed, so that could be relevant for you. But let's start over.
Okay.
If you have a computer, if not, then you have a piece of paper. You start with your income you bring in, and then you start with your expenses. If you go to McDonald's on a regular basis, you kind of already know in your head how much you spend on a week or bi-weekly or a monthly basis. So you don't necessarily have to have the receipts. But if you know that I spend $100 every 2 weeks on going out to eat, and for me, my budget is done monthly. So you take 100 times 2, that's $200, and you stick in your budget $200 for going out to eat. That is kind of a high number.
Is that kind of reasonable
That
monthly?
sounds
Is a good
nice.
way?
Everybody is different. I mean,
Okay.
are you a family of 2 or are you a family of 5?
Sounds like I'm not having to cook at home all the time.
Yeah.
So you start off with your budget. You have your income at the top. That should be pretty consistent, hopefully. Your expenses, you list those. Everybody knows about your rent, or your mortgage, or your car note, or your insurance. But some things that,
The basic needs type
the
thing.
basic needs, are some things that you forget about. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Over the years, I've gone back and I've looked at my budget and I've tweaked it. So in the last couple of years, and I've been doing this for a while, 20 some years now, I had a dry cleaners. I never had dry cleaners in there. But that's an expense. Everything is legitimate. So if you have an expense, you want to make it as accurate. If you have a budget, you want to make it as accurate as possible. So you want to put everything in there. Going out to eat, I mentioned that earlier. I just added my kids' lunch. Now, I'm not talking about the food that I go to the grocery store and buy. I'm talking about when they eat hot lunch at school, and I have to give them
That $1.50,
$20 every 2 weeks or whatever that number may be. I put that in my budget. I don't know if you guys vacation. You ever think about how much a vacation truly costs, or do you kind of just go out there and do it?
Okay, here's what I have out of my checkbook. Let's go. I got money to get down there. We got money to eat, whatever. Let's go.
Okay, well that's a start. So at least you know how much it costs, but you need to plan ahead, because we're talking about digging ourselves out of that hole. So you need to know what you can afford, what you can set aside for instance, for a vacation. Try and set that aside on a monthly basis, and then go from there. And then I also put travel in here, that could be your vacation, but for instance, if you live away from home and you travel back home a lot, like me and my wife used to do with our family, that's something we never thought about, but that's expensive. You jump on the road, you live 3 hours away, you drive 3 hours back, that's a tank of gas. You may eat on the road, on your way home and on your way back, that's expensive, so.
You know, I'm grateful for those techniques you taught, because I've actually applied some of them that have actually helped my family. I'm really grateful for those techniques that you've taught.
They sound wonderful. I don't know. Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on it.
Because my next question when we come back next week is going to be, how do you apply this when you're not the only person spending money out of a checking account? Because it's interesting, you know, to have all that there. I might be on board, but what if?
What do they call that? A come to Jesus meeting?
Yeah,
I think you need to have one of those.
Might need to have come to Jesus meeting.
This is me. Well, we're going to talk about that just the next time we come back and meet with Ajomo. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for our Money Minute. Talking about our money, and we'll see you next time.